I'm sure lots of people's faith changes over time, but there do seem to be some people for whom it's very important. I mean, I have friends who are religious, and for many of them, it's actually very important as a support. And that's what they use it for. Something to keep them optimistic, keep them, you know, getting up in the mornings and believing that things could go all right.
Ooh. It's not really belief. I think sociologically people's models of faith do change over time, over their life courses in particular.
Although I'm not a person of religious faith, I guess by observation I would say that for many people their model of faith changes over time. And in fact the faith itself, religious doctrine, changes over time.
I mean, this is something which is very fluid with most faiths all the time. Where I come from, we have a faith which is for all times, as indeed most are. Mine is very flexible, very comprehensive, but it does not allow other people to come and chop and change it, as is the case with many other faiths. My faith and faith should not be dictated by the environment of the society, because if you look at the current society, there is too much evil, there is too much greed, there is too much selfishness that has not only crept in, it's become part of our life. Now, if we allow these elements, these factors, to shape our faith, then our faith becomes subservient to our baser instincts. Whereas faith is something which transcends the baser elements of human beings and dictates from a different level in order to put things right, to reform, to correct, and to guide.
I do know that how people understand their own faith does change over time.
It seems to me that people who say that they accept God or religion on the basis of faith and simply argue that is for them. I don't really understand how people can be that way, and I don't think that anybody is beyond influencing by rational argument.
I like to think that people's views change all the time and people are always evolving and learning different things, so I'd apply, obviously I don't have that much experience with evolving faith within myself, but I would hope that people of faith would evolve that over time.
I think it has to actually work. It has to change and evolve and develop. At the very least, you know, I'm very conscious of how that's happened as I get older. I came into the faith community that I belonged to when I was 19, I'm now 51, and if my ideas hadn't changed over that time, I don't know what kind of a person I'd be.
If you speak to anybody of a faith, that they will say that it's been a journey, that from the outset they have been changing their views, modifying as they've become more versed in that, as they've listened to other people, maybe from different backgrounds. They may become more, when they look back 10 years where they were and where they are, I think they will say that they have probably changed.
No. Why should they change the belief because there is pressure from the audience? If they have faith in something, they believe in it, and they've got logical, good reasons. If it's dogmatic and blind belief, which drives them to dictate to people and order society, they are mistaken. But if they have belief in something that makes common sense, it's logical, it's scientific, then of course they should not allow themselves to be pushed and shoved by public opinion, which is very unpredictable at most times. It is ephemeral, and it is something which is unstable because it changes so quickly with the climate.
I believe that what the faith of the leader is shouldn't be important at all, just shouldn't be an issue.
Not necessarily. I think people have convictions, and that doesn't mean to say that they should be persuaded by the mass, unless, of course, the person actually listens to the argument and actually takes on board that it is a reasonable point of view, and then, of course, more flexible.
I think the idea of leaders having faith is a bad thing.
And that depends on what direction it's changing and how seriously they take what they believe or have ceased to believe.
Most leaders do change their model of faith under pressure from their congregation if the congregation is paying their wages.
Should there be pressure? No. If someone said that I'm doing this because God has told me to do it or something like that, and they were completely firm and inflexible and would follow that no matter what the popular voice said, I think it's beholden on them to take account of public opinion and change if it reflects the reality of the circumstances. I don't think that one person's inner feeling about something or inner conviction should enable or empower them to make political, economic and social decisions that affect the lives of thousands or millions.
That's an interesting question. I don't suppose people could change their model of faith if it's genuine, if there's pressure. On the other hand, if it's not genuine, I'm sure they do.
Depends what sort of leaders they are, I suppose.